It's common to have issues when using head voice to perform, often having troubles with instability or with a tonal quality that's not adequate or is not what you're after when applying those songs. So in this video, I'm going to go through some problems that are usually there and what to do to correct them. I'm Felipe Carvalho. I'm a singer and voice teacher from Brazil, and I specialize on helping singers control the middle part of their voices and using the techniques that are more effective on that area. Okay, so let's begin. Head voice is a way to sing that makes your voice more effective on the high area, and you get more control, more comfort, and the sound sounds more natural than just trying to go up in any way that you can. Of course, that all sounds great in theory, but execution can be a little bit complicated. There are three problems that are more common. The first one is getting into falsetto. The idea of going into a head voice requires you to lighten up your voice a little bit. And when you do so, it's very, very common to just lose control and flip, like this, right? You go into something like this instead of more stable and full quality. The second problem is getting strange and weird vowel sounds. The other part of the technique is to make an adjustment that feels like your voice is resonating higher in your head. Kind of a mask placement is what people often describe it like. And when you do that, it's very common to get something like this, right? And that's also not very adequate and will not get you very far. The third problem is getting the technique kind of right. You can lighten up, you can make the adjustment, but you don't get the benefit from it. There is no increase in textura. You don't feel that your voice is easier to use, and you still have the same limits in range. Often because you're doing the technique, but you're not making use of it. You're not using it in your favor, and you have to know how to do it. When properly controlled, it can sound very good. I'll do a demonstration using a song from Symphony X, just a part of it. And you can, if you want to check, you can see the last video that I sent singing. I did the whole thing using just this position. It was on purpose, and you can see that it sounds pretty decent on the song. Okay, so it goes like this. You make the adjustment, and your voice will try to become lighter, and you have to find a way to keep your voice still sounding natural while doing it. Okay, and then you sing it. The phrase goes, passing through the void, the darkest grand illusion, chaos riding on the wind. So this is rather high if you just try to reach for it in the normal way that you speak. But if you use the adjustment, it can become much easier to control. Okay? So let's start. The first problem is switching to falsetto. How can you improve that? What do you have to do? Well, the problem happens because normally the way that we use our voices, when you're heavy, you also want more closure and more power. So it all goes together, right? And when you're lighter, you don't want that much closure, and you don't need that much power. So your voice becomes lighter, and you just go like this. It's the natural way to use. If you're not singing, you don't really need to do complex actions in this sense. But for head voice, what you want is to go a little bit lighter and keep a lot of closure there. And that action is not, I will not say natural, but it's not common on our daily lives. It's not part of the way that we use our voices normally. Maybe you do, so lucky you, but if you don't do it normally, you're going to have to train it. And training this requires specific attempts and adjustments. It's not just about wishing for a lighter sound. You have to train and know how to control it. I call this vocal function training, and it's something that you have to do with intention. You can, for example, just practice on your normal voice, try to be lighter, try to make the sound piercing and metallic. It's a good attempt to have this control developed, okay? Now about the second problem, which is the weird vowels, right? The issue is usually related to trying to make your voice feel higher in the head. And while those sensations are useful, they are not all there is to it. And it's important to learn exactly what you need to change and how to adjust it instead of just going for the sensations. The sensations are useful and they are an important marker that things are working as you want them to work, but they are not the end goal. The end goal is to have that particular quality, and it doesn't feel that different when you're doing it right from your normal voice, right? Even if I exaggerate it, what will happen is that my voice becomes a little more round, more soft, because now I can darken it more and remain on the normal center that I used to speak. So, and then you have to practice those vowels that you want to use to sing, and get a natural adjustment on that. That's really important too. It's not just about reaching the notes. You need to find a way that your voice works in a way that sounds natural and good and powerful enough for what you want to do. All right? If you just go try to make the sensation happen and direct everything up, probably what you're going to do is to block the mouth and create pressure inside. Because if you do that, it all feels in here, right? And yeah, it's very, the resonance feels very heady when you do this, but it's not what you're after. And it will not. So if you like what you're hearing and you want me to help you, you can send me an email, and I do one-on-one lessons over the internet using Zoom or Skype. Skype isn't working anymore. Using Zoom or Teams, whatever. Just reach me and let's see the details. We can work out something especially for you, okay? Finally, the adjustment that you need to do needs to be precise and it needs to be there. And also you have to know how to make use of it. Because it goes like this. What you're doing is shifting the resonance centers of your voice, let's say, and making your voice lighter in the process. If you just do that and you don't change the way you're approaching your voice in your head, what's going to happen is that you're going to have a lighter voice. It will sound very thin. Even if you keep it full, it will sound like you're thinning up your voice on the upper area. It will sound like something like this. And you're not going to have the benefits from it because you just shifted to a lighter voice and you're getting into the same limits that you had before, the same motion limits that you had before. And here's what you have to do. You make the shift. So it goes kind of like this, right? In a voice that's a little lighter. And then you darken it a bit, and it will become more consistent with your lower voice and how you normally do it. And by doing so, you're going to have a little bit of headroom to go higher, and it will sound consistent with what you do in your lower voice already. Very, very good way to approach it, but it takes training. You have to have the adjustment very clear in your mind, and you need that so that when you try to darken it, you don't just fall back into this the normal way you speak. Okay, I hope it's helpful. And again, if you want some lessons, reach me on my email. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.